Halifax City Councillors have agreed to investigate making all municipal washrooms universal access. The motion before a city standing committee passed unanimously this morning. That means making gender-neutral washrooms that can accommodate people with physical disabilities, small children, or an attendant. Councillors directed staff to draft an administrative order on universal washroom access at municipal buildings. Advocates say this is a good first step.
Being able to use the washroom is, I'd say, a human right. And in all these buildings that the city owns, ideally they like all citizens to be able to take part. And part of being able to take part is having proper hygiene set up.
Staff have not yet estimated how much this action might cost, but they will start tabulating that now. Shayna Luck spoke today with local author Leslie Lowe, who's researched public toilets around the world, and she found that in Halifax and in North America, accessible washrooms are the exception and not the rule.
What is the state of public toilets in Halifax?
It's good for people who have it good, which is to say if you are sort of don't have any exceptional medical needs, you don't have any mobility issues, you're white, cisgendered, often male, you have no problems. But if you fall outside those kind of categories, it can be difficult to find bathrooms when you need them.
Oh, so what do you make now of politicians coming forward and saying this is something we're going to look at?
It's really great. I would caution them to look really carefully at all the complexities of bathroom needs. So when you have different sets of users, sometimes it's difficult to get the right fix for specific users. Sometimes those competing needs are at loggerheads with one another. So sometimes you have a gender-neutral bathroom, but if you only have a gender-neutral bathroom, that can cause problems for other users. So women who can't share bathrooms with people who identify as male, for example.
You've been researching public bathrooms for years now. Have you seen any improvement or any change in those conditions?
Very little. So I guess in terms of bathrooms themselves, that we very rarely see new public bathrooms opening. In Halifax, we've seen very few over maybe the last 10 or 15 years. And in terms of the fittings, yes, they're getting better, but I can still go into bathrooms and see things which are really evidently going to cause a problem for people.
It turns out an accessible washroom is needed for the provincial department now in charge of redrafting a law designed to make the province more accessible. The Justice Department is housed in a Halifax high-rise that was recently redesigned. But according to Minister Diana Whalen, it has no accessible washroom on any of its 13 floors.
It just shows that we haven't had our eye on the ball on this, and I think it's a very good example of why we need to get out there and find out what we've got in other buildings. And we are certainly, I should make the point that I have authorized the expenditure to build one of those washrooms right away.
Whalen says part of the government's work on accessibility will be to make sure all space occupied by a government department is fully accessible. Bill 59 will be back before a legislature committee on Monday.
Well, it's time now for our weekly